Cinder Rabbit by Lynn Hazen, illustrated by Elise Pastel. Zoe scurried all the way to Grand Rabbit's school. When the bell rang, every bunny rushed to find a seat. Settle down. I know you are excited about our spring play, but please stop jumping around, said Mrs. Lop. Today is Monday. On Friday, we will perform Cinder Rabbit, she said. Let's choose roles. Zoe took a deep breath as Mrs. Lop reached into a hat. Zoe's heart beat fast. Her teacher pulled out a name and announced, Zoe will be Cinder Rabbit. You're going to be the star of the play, whispered Frida. Zoe smiled. Charlie will be Prince Charming Whiskers, said Mrs. Lop. Oh man, Charlie said, I wanted to be the truck driver. Their teacher assigned the rest of the roles. And for the happy ending, Mrs. Lop said, Zoe will lead the bunny hop. Oh no, Zoe thought, I can't hop. Zoe worried about hopping while Mrs. Lop read the play aloud. Zoe used to hop. In fact, last week, Zoe hopped right into a big mud puddle. Winifred had laughed at her. Zoe could still walk and even scurry. But ever since the mud puddle, Zoe was afraid to hop. She would not even try to hop. Mrs. Lop was so busy with all the other bunnies, she had not noticed that Zoe wasn't hopping anymore. Mrs. Lop turned to the last page of the play, and they all lived happily ever after. She said, Any questions? Charlie waved his paw. Why can't I be a truck driver? There are no trucks in our spring play, said Mrs. Hop. Woody asked, Who do I get to be? Mrs. Lop checked her list. You are, oops. You forgot me, Woody said. No, said Mrs. Lop. You are, the assistant director. Woody smiled and sat up tall. Zoe was not smiling. Zoe was not sitting up tall. She raised her paw. Yes, said Mrs. Lop. Are you going to teach us how to do the bunny hop? Zoe asked. Everyone laughed. Don't be silly, said the teacher. Every bunny knows how to hop. Every bunny but me, Zoe thought. Now Zoe worried more than ever. She asked Frida, Do you want to be Cinder Rabbit? We could trade roles. No, said Frida. I want to be the fairy god rabbit. I will get a magic wand. Zoe asked Winifred, Do you want to be Cinder Rabbit? No, said Winifred. I want to be the wicked step rabbit. I like to be wicked. Zoe was already worried about hopping. Now she worried about wicked Winifred too. On Tuesday, the class made invitations. At lunchtime, Zoe was so worried she couldn't eat her carrot cake. At recess, she watched Frida play hopscotch. How did she do it? Zoe watched very closely. Frida stood on one foot and bent her knee. Then she hopped. It looked so easy. Zoe hid behind the slide to practice hopping. She stood on one foot. She wobbled. She wiggled. Zoe tried to hop, but then she remembered the mud puddle. Then Winifred swooped down the slide. Yah! Winifred laughed, just like a wicked step rabbit. I still can't hop, Zoe thought. I'll try later when Winifred isn't watching. On Wednesday, Zoe's class made posters, costumes, and scenery. Frida made a sparkly magic carrot wand. Winifred painted a poison apple. Wrong place, said Frida. She waved her magic wand. Hippity-bippity-bop. She made the poison apple disappear. Charlie hid backstage and painted a cardboard truck. Woody said, Don't forget me. I'm the distant director. But nobody was listening. Line up to practice the bunny hop, called Mrs. Lop. She put Zoe at the front of the line. Zoe's tummy felt floppity. Her mouth was so dry that she couldn't talk. If she could have talked, she would have said, Stop, because I can't hop. Mrs. Lop plopped down at the piano. She began to play the hopping music. Plinkety, plinkety, plink, plink, plink. Zoe tried to hop, but oh, ploppity, ploppity, plop, plop, plop. All the dancers fell down in a heap. Oh man, said Charlie, we should do a play about trucks. No, Mrs. Lop said. The invitation said Cinder Rabbit. Frida waved her magic carrot around Zoe. You can do it, Zoe, said Frida. Hop. Zoe liked Frida. She liked Frida's magic carrot wand. She liked the magical breeze flowing around her. Maybe it would work. Frida had made the poison apple disappear, hadn't she? So Zoe took a deep breath and tried again. She tried hopping on her right foot. No luck. She tried hopping on her left foot. No luck. She even tried jumping with both feet. Still no luck. Zoe tried again and again, but when wicked Winifred laughed at her, Zoe stopped trying. On Thursday, Zoe's class went downtown. They hung posters about the spring play. Mrs. Lopp lined up the class to return to school. A shiny blue truck drove up to the crosswalk. "Oh man," said Charlie, "look at that big truck." Their teacher raised one paw for the truck to stop. Then she waved for her bunnies to go. "Move it," said Winifred as she stepped on the back of Zoe's shoe. Plip! Zoe's shoe fell off, right in the middle of the crosswalk. Zoe stood on one foot. The light turned yellow. Her heart beat fast. The light would soon turn red. "Hurry, class," said Mrs. Lopp. Winifred laughed and laughed. Zoe stood frozen in place as every bunny rushed past her. Every bunny but Charlie. Charlie grabbed Zoe's shoe and waved it at the truck driver. When Charlie waved, Zoe's shoe slipped out of his hand and sailed through the air. Whoosh! "Oops," said Charlie. Zoe watched her shoe fly through the sky and bounce off Winifred. Whoosh, bonk, funk.
Oh, no.
Winifred finally stopped laughing.
No, keep going.
The truck driver smiled and waved. Honk, honk. Zoe hopped all the way to the curb. "You did it," said Frida. "I can hop," said Zoe. "I can hop." Her class cheered. Charlie kneeled to help her. "Here's your shoe, Cinder Rabbit," he said. Charlie was charming. Zoe's class was happy. Mrs. Lopp was happy. The truck driver was happy that they were finally out of the crosswalk, but Zoe was happiest of all. The play could go on. Friday was opening night. The parents were there. The bunnies put on their costumes and scurried into place. Woody opened the curtain and the play began. Zoe remembered all her lines. Winifred was wicked as usual. Frida was magical. Charlie was charming. The play was perfect. It was time for the bunny hop. The bunnies lined up behind Zoe. Mrs. Lopp sat at the piano. Plinkety, plinkety, plink, plink, plink. But when wicked Winifred laughed, Zoe froze. "Go," Frida whispered. "Don't listen to Winifred. Just hop." "I can't," Zoe gulped. "I forgot how." Mrs. Lopp began the music again. Plinkety, plinkety, plink, plink, plink. But Zoe still didn't move. "Get the truck," Woody told Charlie. "Oh man," Charlie said, "Mrs. Lopp told us no trucks." "I'm the distant director," said Woody. "I say get the truck." Mrs. Lopp peeked around the piano to see what was happening. Nothing was happening. Charlie was missing. Where was Prince Charming Whiskers? Mrs. Lopp played the opening music again and again. Zoe took a deep breath. Frida waved her magic carrot and said, "Hippity bippity bop." "I can hop," Zoe told herself. "I did it before. I can do it again." She wobbled on one foot and her heart beat faster and faster. Mrs. Lopp played louder and louder. Plinkety plinkety, Charlie burst on stage with his cardboard truck. Plinkety plinkety, honk honk honk, shouted Charlie. "Thanks," said Zoe. She flicked off one shoe, then the other. Zoe hopped on her right foot. She hopped on her left foot, then on both feet. She hopped all the way across the stage with her classmates hopping behind. The audience clapped and cheered. Zoe smiled her biggest smile. "Oh man," said Charlie, "that was great." "Magical," said Frida. Even wicked Winifred was impressed. Zoe was so happy that she hopped right into her parents' arms. Woody lowered the curtain and said, "And we all lived happily ever after." The end.